Hello, everyone. Welcome to my live session. Before I begin, let me just check with my team if I am in live. Team, could you please confirm if you can see me and if I'm audible? Team, could you please confirm if I'm live? Okay, I can see my team members joining in now. And if you could also confirm whether I'm audible or not. All right, great. I seem to be live on Facebook and YouTube. So without further ado, we will begin the session. So hi, once again, everyone. I'd like to welcome you all to another one of my live sessions. And in fact, the last one for this week, since we'll all be closed tomorrow for Good Friday. So it's been quite a roller coaster of a year so far. I don't think anyone was really anticipating that this is what 2020 would really, entail for all of us. But this too shall pass, and it's always better to be optimistic about the future rather than hope for a better tomorrow rather than dwell too much on what's all that's really going wrong. So, I was in fact listening to an interesting talk yesterday where this lady was actually talking about the conditioning of a human mind and how it's so important for, all of us to always want to be doing something incessantly, or, we have it in our heads that, we need to go somewhere, or we need to be somewhere. So when those few things are really taken away from us, we kind of experience, a feeling of helplessness, and that's when the anxiousness really kicks in. So, very interestingly, in fact, she used an analogy of cars driving by. So, a lot of you would have often seen that, if there are cars driving by and there are dogs around, the dogs tend to chase those cars or, bark at the cars. But once a car stops or it comes to a standstill, the dog doesn't really know what to do with the car anymore. So, in this equation of things, she actually compared the car to the concept of time, and she compared dogs to human beings. So when the cars are going by, everything seems fine. If time's flying by, you constantly feel like you're actually running out of time or you need more time to do something. But when time stops and pretty much stares you right in the face, you actually find yourself in a position where you don't know what to do with it. You become frazzled and you don't know what to do with all of that time. So it's all about perspective here. And making the most of the abundant time that you do have at this point, that we do have in our hands right now. So if you do have time right now, it's my advice to you that you should value it and utilize it for the better. It's not going to be something very constructive of you to be worrying about all that's going wrong and worrying about the future incessantly. Instead, it's advisable to make the most of the time that you do have right now and really be more productive with it. So if you do have big plans to study in the future but never really got the time to sit down and chalk out those plans or really think about it, this would be the time to do exactly that. We are eventually going to definitely rise out from this phase, and I'm confident that it will happen pretty soon. So once we have come out of this phase, you will be ready to act on all those plans that you did make while you were spending this time at home. So, this is the time to get creative, just ponder over what interests you, what excites you. If you're hungry for learning more, if you're hungry to study more, then definitely take this time into, consideration. And of course, feel free to even connect with us because we'd be more than happy to guide you through this period. So that's the beauty about AJV. In fact, we've predominantly been an online based company. So we're very used to this style of working from home. So there have been absolutely no disruptions for us in our internal processes. It's pretty much been business as usual for us. So yes, with regards to the COVID-19 situation at present, I think most of you would be knowing that the country is under a 4-week lockdown since 25th March. With only essential services, businesses being open. So, however, I am pleased to say that things are looking up for New Zealand. There have been several articles published recently, in fact, in the last day or two, that have hailed New Zealand as a coronavirus safe haven after an international research group, in fact, ranked New Zealand as the third safest country in the world, right behind Israel and Singapore. So that's great news for the country, for the people residing there, and also for the people who plan on making the move to New Zealand. It's very reassuring for sure. I think this can really be attributed to the strict lockdown measures and the efficient response of the government. When they've kind of identified the first few cases of coronavirus in New Zealand. So the country's PM, in fact, has been greatly lauded for her quick action as well. So I know a lot of you are also wondering about, what kind of impact would this have on the economy of New Zealand. So in fact, Arun shared an interesting article, which was, I think, posted on BBC on 6th April. And, they've kind of brought forth some statistics. There was basically a 2019 Global Resilience Index, which ranked the resiliency of the business environment across 130 countries. This index was based on different factors like political stability, corporate governance, risk environment, and supply chain and logistics. And then what they did was that they paired these rankings with the country's initial response to the virus. So as a result of this, this ranking, apparently New Zealand has been ranked the 12th most resilient in this index. So that's really good news once again. It just shows us that the economy is not going to have such an adverse impact because of this. And they are a relatively stable country. They're not indebted to the government, in millions. So that's a really good sign. And I'm sure it'll be a quick recovery for the country, on a whole. So yes, as some of you would have noticed that almost each day of the week, one of the LIs does come onto these live sessions, and we do speak about a specific college. So today I'm going to be speaking about WelTec. However, before I get into that, I would also like to show you all my license card. So this is my license card. It basically allows me to provide immigration advice under supervision. And it has been issued to me by the Immigration Advisors Authority. And so, as per the code of conduct, I am required to show this to all of you before I, dwell onto giving any advice. So the rules of the session are pretty simple. I guess the viewers who have been watching the live sessions regularly would already be aware of the rules. But basically, those of you who are watching, I would like you to just, paste your comments or queries or any questions that you may have concerning New Zealand, on the comment section on Facebook and YouTube, and I will be addressing those queries shortly. For those of you who are already working with us, I would like you to just specify whether you're an AJV client, and if possible, also mention the name of the advisor who you're working with, so that it would be easier for us to, extract the most up-to-date information about your case. And for those of you who are not already working with us, then I would definitely request you all to just leave your contact details in the comments section so that we can give you a call, right after the session and address your queries in more detail. Right. So I'm now going to start talking a little bit about WellTec, which is the Wellington Institute of Technology. It was established in the year 1904. So it's a pretty old institute. It's in fact one of the oldest tertiary education institutes in New Zealand. And I think it's also the second oldest in Wellington. It was earlier known as Hutt Valley Polytechnic and got its current name, in fact, in 2001. So I'm guessing the older name can be attributed to the fact that, one of the main campuses is actually located in the Lower Hutt region of Wellington. So essentially, the institute has three campuses. One is in Petone, which is the main campus. The other is in Porirua, and the third is in Wellington City. So the institute really does have, some state-of-the-art facilities, such as a library, a cafe. You have a hairdressing salon. You have a gym, a sports field, so you name it, and the institute does provide it all to you. It also offers 134 programs across various fields, including business, construction, engineering, hospitality, and IT. So, in fact, another interesting and lesser known fact is that WellTec and Fiteria have been strategic partners since 2012. So, the institutes, both the institutes, they do offer its students, the ability to access a wide range of programs that are being offered by the institutes in tandem with each other. And, there are situations where you don't even have to apply for cross credits. So yeah, I'm going to basically be touching upon a few courses a few exciting courses that WellTec offers that are a popular choice amongst a lot of our clients and have also seen great outcomes. So the first course that I'm going to be talking about briefly is a graduate diploma in engineering, which is a level 7 course. It's a great choice for people who are interested, in the field of construction. This course does offer a lot of specializations, such as building services, mechatronics, structures, and water and waste. So in order to gain entry into this course, you do require relevant bachelor's qualification or relevant practical experience. There will also be multiple career opportunities available to you depending on the specialization that you do end up taking during the in this particular course. So what's great about this course is that once you've completed this course, you'd probably end up with a profession that does fall under the long-term skill shortage list. So some of the skills that you would end up learning are that of civil, structural, or electrical engineering, and all of those professions do fall under the long-term skill shortage list, which basically means that the government does anticipate that there is going to be a need, an ongoing need for professionals in these areas for many years to come. So you'll definitely be really sought after by the employers once you complete this course. So definitely do consider this course as an option if you're interested in any of these fields. Another great attribute of this course is that it is focused on practical learning, which makes you truly work ready once you've completed the course. So in the past, students have done site visits, in fact, and and witnessed actual construction projects, such as the construction of a hospital in Wellington, and even the construction of a PW center on the waterfront in Wellington. So if you're keen to know more about this course, then definitely connect with us, and we'll be happy to provide you with more information about it. Another great course is the Graduate Diploma in Applied Business Management. So what's great about this course is that it has several strands available in varying fields, such as accounting, there's sales and marketing, finance, logistics, supply chain, tourism even. So you can choose whichever one depending upon your area of interest. And post completion of this course, you would be ready to take on a number of roles, including that of a business analyst or an accounts clerk, a financial controller, maybe even a business development executive. So both the courses that I've just spoken about, they're one-year courses, and they would give you the ability to obtain a 2-year post-study work visa as well. So that's an added benefit. I think 2 years is also a substantial amount of time for you to be able to find a suitable job for yourself and ultimately apply for residency. Apart from these two courses, there's also another really popular course, which is a New Zealand Diploma in Construction Quantity Surveying. This is a level 6 course, and it's a 2-year course, and it provides entry as an affiliate member to the New Zealand Institute of Quantity Surveyors. And you get this membership for free while you're a full-time student at WelTec. So that's great for people who are looking to take up a role as perhaps a quantity surveyor, which in fact is another position that falls on the long-term skill shortage list. So yeah, those are just some of the really popular and great courses that WelTec has to offer. Apart from that, it does have hundreds of other courses. If you would like to know more about them, depending upon your profile, then do connect with us, and we'd be happy to guide you about that. About the city of Wellington, it is the capital city of New Zealand, and you would enjoy a great quality of life in the city as well. It is also replete with culture, so you'd have a variety of things to do. There are a number of breweries, cafes, or restaurants to visit. It's also cinema hub. I think the Lord of the Rings film was completed in one of the studios in Wellington. And what's also great about the city is that it is known to have a lot of startups. And so there are some thriving businesses in Wellington, which basically just means additional job opportunities for students graduating from their colleges. So there are jobs across many high growth areas available in Wellington, specifically in the field of ICT, engineering jobs, business and finance roles, jobs in the healthcare sector, and even tourism and hospitality. Wellington is also known as the country's high-tech capital, with the region having the greatest number of New Zealand's fastest-growing high-tech businesses. So overall, there are abundant opportunities available for you, if you choose to stay and work in Wellington. What's also great is that it is not as crowded as Auckland. As a lot of you would be aware, the government has been trying to decongest Auckland by molding immigration policies in a way that kind of lures people to the other upcoming cities instead. So, it would definitely be a great time to explore another really popular city, which is Wellington. What's also great is that if you do end up applying for a residence application, having a job offer in Wellington would give you 30 bonus points. So that's also a factor that you should keep in mind. Apart from that, just to kind of briefly talk about the response of WelTec to the COVID-19 situation, most of the colleges, all the colleges in New Zealand have also had to close down because of this. And what's happening is that most of them are taking online classes. So the latest news is that from 1st April, WelTec started teaching, classes remotely, but it is happening in waves. So not all courses would have started. And in fact, some courses may only restart once the campus, reopens. So, WellTec's advice to all students who are presently studying there is just to kind of stay in touch with the tutors around that. And they will let you know at least a week in advance before, classes begin once again. So yeah, that's all about WellTec from my end. And let me see if we have any questions yet. And let me see if my team has said anything yet. All right, so okay, so we have the first question from Senthil, who said, "How about IT jobs in New Zealand?" Senthil, like I did mention, IT skills are in demand in New Zealand. So it has a great scope for people who do perhaps pursue a course in New Zealand. If you're looking to directly get a job in New Zealand, that is very difficult at this stage, because it's not easy. It's not as easy, to get a job offer if you're based overseas. Employers will naturally prefer to give a job offer to people who currently hold work visas in New Zealand or are New Zealanders themselves. Just because a work visa application does require a lot of checks, extensive documentation, and it can also take a couple of months. So my suggestion to you would be to consider the study pathway. In fact, now, given the COVID-19 situation, there is going to be an increase in unemployment world over, not just in a specific country. So there will be more intensive checks, for work visa applications, and to see whether employers are actually meeting the labor market test, and whether they're actually trying to hire the New Zealanders before they offer the job to overseas clients, which is why this would actually be the ideal time to study. And then, while things have settled, by the time you've completed your course, you'll be in a great position to find an amazing IT job as well. Senthil, I would request you also to leave your number so that we can provide you with more information around this, and perhaps some courses that you would be interested to look at as well. This is just a reminder to all the viewers to please leave their numbers as well. Otherwise, it will be difficult for me to answer your questions. This is something that we do expect from you in return. Of course, we do come here, come live practically every day of the week to provide you all with information without demanding much in return. So I think it would be nice if you could at least leave your contact details so that we can connect with you and have a chat with you in greater detail after the live session is over. All right, so there is a question from Kunal Yadav. Thank you for your question, Kunal. He's asking about the scope for IT security management in New Zealand. Kunal, you haven't left your number. However, I will anyways answer your question. Basically, there is an increasing demand for, trained cyber security professionals and graduates for this program, to help basically meet New Zealand's government cyber security strategy. So this master's degree is, in fact, you do have a great master's degree in cybersecurity in New Zealand. We could more about that, and the earning income, the income is also great for people who do complete that course. I think the average income is about $92,000 a year. So that's really great. So there is great opportunity for this specific area. But if you leave your number, we'll be able to give you, more course options as well. All right, Julie has written, hi, I'm an AJV client. I'm planning for the September intake. When can I start my processing? Gigi, thanks a lot for choosing to work with us. We're really happy to have you on board. So you can start with your documentation and admission process almost immediately. There's no need to delay that. We're also very confident that New Zealand's borders should also open soon. So, we're all hoping that it would open in time for people to perhaps go to New Zealand for the July, August, September intake. We're hopeful for that definitely. However, that shouldn't stop you from, at least starting to collect your documents. And, once you can always stay in touch with the visa officer and she'll give you the latest updates on, when is the best time to lodge an application. It's also important for, all of you to kind of note that Immigration New Zealand is still accepting the lodgement of applications for the July intake even. So there has been no ban or prohibition on that. We have been lodging applications for the July intake. Of course, the New Zealand High Commission in Mumbai is presently closed, as are the other Immigration New Zealand offices as well. There is only skeleton staff working, and they're only working on high priority cases such as applications for essential workers, basically who are in the healthcare field or working in the department stores that are open presently. So, those are some of the cases that they're looking at. Other than that, they're not really assessing applications. However, you can still lodge an application. It's my recommendation that if you're interested in going for the September intake, then you should definitely work towards lodging your application at the earliest, because by the time that the Immigration New Zealand office does open up, they will have a lot of applications to assess. So yours will probably be picked out sooner rather than later, and that will just assist you in traveling to New Zealand on time. So don't worry about the situation and just carry on with your plans, and I'm sure your visa officer will also guide you with that. Yeah. Thank you so much, Gigi. All right. We have a message from Ravneet saying, hi, do I need 7 band overall or 7 each for teacher registration? Ravneet, thanks a lot for your query. Yes, you will need an overall band of 7, and you will also need 7 in the individual bands in order to, apply for your registration with the Teaching Council of New Zealand. So that's answering your query. And I would also request you to please leave your number so that we can help you out with some great teaching courses as well. We do have a lot of our clients who take up teaching courses and are able to get themselves registered and have great outcomes. So we'd be more than happy to assist you, if that's your plan. Gigi has written, thank you. Thanks a lot, Gigi. All right, not too many questions today. I know it's a little late in the day as well, and perhaps the end of the week, a lot of you who do have a holiday tomorrow. Okay, we do have. I would please request all of you who did ask questions to leave their contact details as well in the comment section. All right. Irfan has written that I'm a medical student and looking to do my practice and post-graduation from New Zealand. Hi, Irfan. Thanks a lot for your message. You've not, however, left your number. I would urge you to do so. In order to practice medicine, you would have to be registered in New Zealand before you can go ahead and practice medicine there. And the process of registration can be quite complex. So what you can do in the meantime is that you can take a non-medical course instead, say in health management, and and simultaneously you can work towards your registration as well. So if you could leave your number, we'd be more than happy to connect with you and provide you with more course options to kind of help you go to New Zealand and ultimately practice medicine like you wish to. All right, no more questions. So other than that, I mean, just a few updates here and there. Basically, INZ did provide some advice around those, people who have a temporary visa right now and whose visas are expiring between 1st April to 9th July 2020. So their visas will be extended till I think 25th September, and you will be receiving a confirmation from Immigration New Zealand about that. I think around at this time it's very important to either stay with an agency like us who are very well versed with what's the latest news when it comes to immigration policies, or visit the website and keep seeing the updates over there. So I would urge you all to, be a little more alert during this time, especially if you're already in New Zealand on temporary visas. It's important for you to take quick action because, of course, you don't want to end up unlawful or breaching any visa conditions either. Let me see if I have any message from my team. All right, Gigi, I do have an update from Mariam that you're working with her and that she has explained the overall procedure to you, and she's waiting for your documents. So thanks a lot, Gigi, for working with Mariam. Mariam is one of our senior advisors. She's a great counselor. She'll be able to guide you with the entire process very well. I would urge you to send the documents across to her. I think I did answer your query, so there's no need for a concern right now, and just go ahead, send your documents, start the process, and we'll take it from there. All right, Irfan has sent his number. Thanks a lot, Irfan. Nusrat has written, what about study visa in cookery? Is New Zealand accepting study visa in this COVID-19? Nusrat, you have not shared your number, so I would request you to do that. However, to answer your question, it's great if you want to take up a course in cookery. In fact, the position of a chef does fall under the long-term skill shortage list. Which has been formulated by the government of New Zealand because they anticipate that there is a shortage, nationwide in these professions, and the shortage is likely to be ongoing for the next few years. So it's definitely a great option to consider for yourself. As for New Zealand accepting study visas, yes, they are accepting study visas. That's something I just mentioned in my live session a little while back, and they are allowing us to lodge applications. There has been no stop on that. So if you're interested in going to New Zealand to pursue a cookery course, please do so by all means. Get in touch with us. We'll be happy to assist you with that and also to lodge your application. Irfan has written, thanks. I will be more than happy to listen from you. Thanks, Irfan, for the feedback. All right, so there has been another update recently, which is basically, advice from INZ again about them making the quarantine policies a little more strict for people who are actually getting visas and coming into the country. So this would possibly be for, partners, because they were the only exception, partners of New Zealanders or partners of temporary visa holders who do primarily reside in New Zealand and are trying to, get back into the country. So earlier, while it was fine to be quarantined at home for a period of 14 days, I think the government is now going to be, making this a little more strict. And there will be special quarantine facilities where people will be asked to stay until that time period is over. So again, I laud this move, by the government, because it's important that such stringent measures are taken at an early on stage. This basically will also mean that New Zealand will probably recover from the coronavirus situation much before any of the other countries. So it's great that they're taking stringent measures right now rather than later. So, all right, no more questions as of now. Team, is there anything else that you would like for me to talk about? Otherwise, we will wrap up the session because our team also will be attending a training at 5 o'clock. So, it's also very important for all of us to keep educating ourselves and learning more and more every day so that we, as a team can provide you with the best possible advice. So if there are no more questions as of now, then I will end this session today and I will be seeing you all again next week. Stay safe and take care. Bye-bye.